Hey, welcome to Sasquatch and Cigars. My name's Thomas. Tonight, I am going to be trying a new cigar that I found. This particular cigar is the Punch Egg Roll. Yes, I said egg roll. There you go. This is the 2026 version, which is a 6-inch by 60 ring gauge. This particular cigar actually cost me $6.99 plus tax, so this is very budget friendly. Hopefully it doesn't taste very budget friendly. Hopefully it tastes pretty good, but everything that I've been reading, it's gotten positive reviews. It's constructed out of a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. The binder is Ecuadorian Sumatra, and the fillers are a quartet of fillers. They come from Colombian, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and the United States. And they put this blend together and they wrap it inside of here, and that gives you the egg roll. I guess it's known for having a multitude of different tobaccos inside of it. The tasting notes that you're supposed to get out of it are supposed to start off with like a sweet molasses, earthy flavors with dark toast, and then it transitions as you get into the cigar into cedar, notes of coffee, nuts, and a little pepper on the back end. We're going to see what it looks like. I'm going to unwrap it. And I was a little unprepared, so I got to get my cutter and my lighter out of my pocket. So I apologize for that, but I'm just going to reach as easy as I can to get, if I can find my pocket. There it is. All right. So I'm just going to use my regular cutter that I got from Drew Estates. And then I have my torch lighter that I'm going to use to light it. I'm going to give it a quick I kind of smell like a kind of like a woodsy flavor to it. I don't know if that's just from the leafiness of the tobacco, but let's light it up. Test draw is pretty good. Sorry, I always get little bits of tobacco in my mouth whenever I do that. So again, we're toasting the end. You don't want to put direct heat onto it. I know I've said this before, but this is for new people that might be watching. You just want to toast the end up, get it nice and toasty all the way around. Let me clear my palate. I'm drinking a tea from Buc-ee's. I live in Texas. Buc-ee's is a staple. I definitely get a little bit of a sweetness from it. I wouldn't say dark toast. I'm kind of picking up a light toast, or I'm definitely not getting anything but those two. I'm not, but again, I just lit it up. So I know I've been promising to post some videos about a night investigation that myself and some friends did. I'm working on the editing process. I'm hoping to have it up by this Sunday. which is May the 17th. I didn't realize editing was going to be such a chore, but when you don't know anything about editing, it's a chore, let me tell you. But I'm going to talk about where we went. Maybe I'll get into a little bit of what we saw, and maybe and I'll explain why I picked this area. So the area that we investigated was the Stubblefield Lake Recreational Area north of Conroe, just outside of Huntsville. The reason why I picked this is because back in 2005, there was a sighting there where a couple of people saw what they described as a 7-foot tall, very broad-shouldered, hairy individual in the middle of the road. I think it was a Forest Service road. It stopped, looked at them, and then walked off into the woods. And then looking up the area, I have seen reports of campers at that particular recreational area talking about hearing whoops, howls in the woods, wood knocks throughout the night, and just some strange stuff, going on there. So it kind of piqued my interest. So, in talking with a friend of mine at work, Milo, we decided that we were going to go up there, and we made a weekend out of it. We went up on a Friday, stayed there Saturday, and came home on Sunday. Friday was a rain out, so we got there and it was raining, so we didn't get to do any kind of investigation Friday. But so the group was myself and Milo, his son Milo, my daughter Valeria, my son Patrick, my son Sebastian, and my son Theophilus. And most of my kids came up there just to go fishing and hang out. And my daughter Val was my cameraman for the night. And my son Patrick came out into the woods to do some investigating with Milo and his son and myself. So like I said, Friday night was kind of a washout because of the rain. We got up Saturday morning. We did some morning fishing. Only got a couple of bites. Nothing, didn't land anything. I'm beginning to believe that place is not a very good fishing hole, but I may keep trying it. I may not. I don't know. If you've ever fished there and have caught something, let me know. Let me know what type of bait you're using so that I can try it. Anyway, so probably about a little after lunch, Milo, myself, and his son decided to go map the areas that we wanted to investigate. And prior to this, I had picked out some areas out in the woods, and it was going to be a 4 to 4.5 mile hike from the furthest one out back to camp. And the idea was we get dropped off out there and we stay at each station for 45 minutes to an hour each time, maybe a little bit longer, and make some noise and see what we can see. So when we went out there, Milo came up with the idea of using ribbon tape to mark the area. So we got out to station 1 and we marked it with ribbon tape so that we could find it in the absolute dark. I mean, we had flashlights and stuff like that, but if you've ever been in the woods at night, it can get pretty dark. And to help find our way, we basically tracked it during the daytime and then marked it. During the daytime, we found a lot of interesting things, mostly inconclusive stuff, but stuff that just looked kind of odd to us. This being our first time doing this, it is what it is. I guess we'll get more experienced as we go along. So we get out to station 1, and there are a couple of trees that are completely bent over, and It looked like they had been thatched to the ground and linked together at one time, and there was an area that looked like something had used it as a bed. I admittedly stated that a person could have bent those over, possibly. They were kind of, I'd say they're at the base, they were about maybe 4 or 5 inches in diameter. And then, but they were pretty tall trees. If you were to stand them straight up, they would have been probably about 20 feet tall. Um, but and as far as the area that looked like something was laying, that could have been a deer. That could have been something else. I looked it up, and while rare, there have been reports of black bears in the area, but that is, from what I understand, what I read, it's pretty rare. Um, and there was some other interesting stuff that I'll save for the videos to show, and you guys can make your judgment on what you think it is and what you don't think it is. But we did see some pretty interesting stuff. And then we made it back to camp and finished out the day. And then at night we drove back out there. My son Sebastian dropped us off, and then he went back to camp to hang out with my other son Theo, who's not old. I mean, he's like 11, and I didn't want him out there by himself, so Sebastian stayed at the camp with him. But and my son Xavier was out there, and he stayed with them as well at the camp. So the group that was out in the forest at night, again, was myself, my daughter Val as my camera lady, Milo and his son Milo, and my son Patrick. And we're the ones that went out and did the investigation. Again, we saw some pretty strange stuff. Nothing that couldn't be explained by rational things, but towards the end of the night, there was an occurrence that happened that I can't explain. And thankfully, my daughter Val got it on the video, got audio of what it was, and I'm going to save that for the actual video, and you can decide what you think it is and what you don't think it is. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil my videos that are coming up. I apologize for the delay in getting these out. Again, like I said, I'm just having a rough time trying to figure out how to edit videos. And so I'm about 2/3 of the way through the tutorial. I got to finish that off, and then hopefully I can get the editing process started and wrapped up. And unfortunately, I had a mic issue, and I didn't realize that the mic wasn't turned on. And so some of the videos you're going to see me and there's no sound. I'm going to have to do a voiceover on those. I'm chalking it up to amateur hour because this was our first session out there. We're only going to get better. But I hope that you guys enjoy what you're going to see. Okay, so this cigar has a pretty good flavor to it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually picking up some sweetness to it, and I think I'm gonna attribute that to the molasses. The burn is slightly uneven. I'll bring it in. It's not terrible, but I'm gonna even it out real quick, and I'll demonstrate for those that don't know how. You just take your torch, light it, and use the tip of the flame and hit the edge that you want to even out. Rotate it around until it's even, and that's roughly all you have to do. This is the wrapper to the punch egg roll. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. I know it's kind of dark out here, I'm working on getting some lighting set up out here. Again, I film outside because I do not smoke in my house. And this right here will probably be the last cigar that I have this week until possibly Sunday. And that's just a personal choice. And also, my wife is concerned health-wise and health issues about me smoking cigars, and it has, I've had one just about every day this week. So, cut back and maybe have one on Sunday. Sunday is going to be a busy day for us. We're doing family portraits, and anyways, so again, please leave a comment on my videos if you've watched them. Share them, like them, subscribe to the channel, get your friends to subscribe to the channel. I have to give a huge shout out to Gen X Talks for allowing me to be on their off the record program. That was a blast. And in this video, in the description, I'll put a link to the Spotify version of it. And if you want to, and I highly recommend it, become a member on their YouTube channel. You get all kinds of perks and stuff like that. And they're just a great group of people. I love them to death. Those guys, they're funny, they're witty, they're down to earth, and they really care about their audience and their members. And again, I'll put a link to the episode that I was on if you want to listen to it. And then I highly recommend going back and watching some of their other content, becoming a member, and getting into some of the content that only members can get to, because there's a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of funny stuff. Definitely, this first third of this cigar, I'm really enjoying it. I can't complain. It's got a good smoke coming off the end of it, as you can see. So it's burning pretty good. The draw is very easy and very good. And the construction of this thing is really well put together. And I have to say, for a cigar that was like $6.99, I'm going to say right here and now that I highly recommend this. If you see a punch egg roll, grab it and try it out. You will like it. Excuse me. Pairs pretty well with unsweet tea too. Not gonna lie. So that being said, I'm going to stand up and pause the video, and I'm going to smoke the cigar down a little bit, and then I'll unpause it, and we'll get back into where I'm at when I get to about here. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm getting into the second third of the cigar. I just wanted to show the weird shape that the ash took. I don't think I've ever seen one split like that. That was pretty wild. And this part, not really picking up much cedar, but I'm getting a little bit of coffee, a little bit of creaminess. To me, I'm getting some creaminess to it. A little bit of nuts and definitely some pepper on it. So I'm getting a little spice too. Yeah, definitely some pepper in there. Still, the taste is staying. It's kind of a medium bodied to me, um, and the flavor profile is hanging pretty good. Um, there was definitely a transition. The sweetness is kind of gone from it, but it definitely is holding its own as a good cigar. Again, at $6.99 for a what would be considered a Gordo 6-inch by 60 ring gauge. Um, Definitely a one of the bigger cigars. It, it it's definitely not going to break the bank, and if you're going to be an everyday smoker, this would be one of the ones that I would fold into that mix of cigars that you smoke, just because it's a good flavor profile and an excellent price point. Still has a really good draw to it. I'm getting plenty of smoke from it. Um, Again, tonight I'm drinking. It's a work night, so I'm drinking unsweet tea, and it's actually it's working well with the cigar. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Funny story about unsweet tea. There was a time in my life where I drank a little bit of tea with my sugar, and then I met my wife, Lisa, and we started dating. And she never drank sweet tea at all. It's always unsweet tea. And as we got into dating and then eventually got married, we would go out, and she got me hooked on drinking unsweet tea. And to this day, I still hold to the fact that the best unsweet teas in the restaurant business are all found at Chinese restaurants. Whether it's a buffet or a brick and mortar restaurant that is a sit down place, they brew some of the freshest and best tea that I've ever had. And I've never once had a bitter or sour tea from a Chinese restaurant. Never, not once. Vietnamese restaurants are the same. They make excellent tea, unsweet. Um, and so if you're trying to cut down on your sugar, um, and you want to try and break into drinking unsweet tea, those are the best places because it's not bitter. It's just got a really good tea flavor. Other restaurants that I've been to, sometimes I'll get the old tea that's been sitting out all day, and I'll have to send it back and say, "Hey, this is nasty tea. Give me some good tea." But enough about the tea. This is a channel about Sasquatch and cigars. So I will post my email in the description. If anybody has something that they want to talk about that's not directly in the chat that everybody can see, um, email me about it. Tell me your story. Tell me what's going on, and tell me where you were at. And you know, again, I live in Houston, Texas. So if any of my Houston peeps see this and have any kind of story, it doesn't even have to be about Sasquatch, man. It can be, any kind of cryptid, any kind of ghost story, uh, you know, whatever. Um, I'll listen, and I may email you back and ask permission to talk about it on one of my videos. Okay. There's a little woodsiness to it, but I don't know if I would say I'm getting cedar. I'm kind of like an oaky flavor. I don't know if that anybody else has picked that up from this particular cigar. But thoroughly enjoying it. It's a good cigar. Um, Sorry, I had to look down and make sure that my mic light was still on so that I can make sure that I'm getting audio on this. Um, Excuse me, I got something in my eye. This particular video, I'm not going to edit, so it's just going to go out in its raw form. What you see is what you're going to get. um, I'm trying to get myself into a position to where I can make content a little more readily, steadily available. Again, I'm really new at this, and so that is why there's been, hit and miss on new videos. Sometimes I may just do a short, and or if some kind of breaking news, like they had the breaking news up in Ohio where they had the flap of Sasquatch sightings. Something like that happens, I may jump in and do a quick short about it and talk about it and whatnot, and try and get some content out that way. I do post to both my Instagram channel and my YouTube channel. One of these days I'll figure out how to link the two together and make it work like that. I think you can do that. If you know how, send me an email. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a pretty good clean white ash on there. So it's burning pretty good. You want to come say hi? She says no. That's my camera woman. I'm not using her tonight. I'm using my selfie stick. That being said, I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to end the video here because I don't want it to be too long. Again, the punch egg roll. If you get a chance to try one, go for it. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to come up so quickly. It's a really good cigar, and again, for my friend Jeff, the price point at $6.99 is a good budget cigar. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, or smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, share the video, please. Put it out there. Help me get spread around. It'll help my channel grow, please. But God bless and have a great night.